All right. And it looks like we are live here for the Conversation for Our Generation's top discussions this week. Today's March 5th, and we have some crazy stuff happening. We have Texas and Mississippi also reopening. I wanted to talk about honoring people and the real issue going on right now over LGBTQ stuff in conservative circles. I think that there's a serious debate being had that really needs to be had and is very interesting. And so let's dive on in because I think this is an important thing to be talking about. So I think that one thing, if we were going to, if you were a betting person, I don't think you're going to be betting that Dr. Seuss was the guy getting canceled week, but I can't say we're surprised anymore with whoever gets canceled. It seems like it's just whoever they want to go after. And I don't know. I don't even know how they pick some of these targets. It's crazy. But with that said, I mean, if you have a collection of his books, I think you're probably rich now. So kudos to you on that, especially the 6 that have gotten canceled. But this week's discussions, like I said, don't have as much of a common thread as they have in the past, like a theme or anything, because I think that there's a lot of different stuff happening that I wanted to make sure to cover. And so the top podcast that I came across this week, one great one was with the Vital Masculinity podcast. They were talking to Kennedy Hall about the problem of effeminacy. And he defines effeminacy different than our culture normally does. We normally think of it as like womanish, but really he looks at the classical definition, which is basically a reluctance to suffer pain, right? A fear of suffering pain. And I think that if you take that definition, effeminacy is one of the biggest plagues on our culture right now. And so I think if you want a really good booster shot on your Lenten promises and a little bit of courage or a little bit of encouragement and something that's fortifying, this was a great conversation. So definitely check out what this conversation between Vital Masculinity podcast and Kennedy Hall, but also check out Kennedy's work because I think he has a lot of great stuff happening over there, and he's someone who I just discovered through the Vital Masculinity podcast. So I'm definitely checking out more of his work. Another one that I really enjoyed as a history nerd, the American History Tellers podcast. I've always liked it, but this week they had one on building the Statue of Liberty, and I just thought that was a really fun story, really interesting. I had known some of it, but this was a lot of new stuff for me as well. So it was really cool to hear that. Definitely check out that one. And then on honoring people, Father John Nepple and Father Nathan Goebel from the Catholic Stuff You Should Know podcast discussed how to honor someone and doing it in a way that goes beyond just saying, hey, you're good at this thing, but really honoring someone's accomplishments and their achievements and making sure that you give them their due. They both talked about recently honoring their dads and their fathers as they retire, as they come to kind of, some of those high points in your life or those milestones in your life. How do you go about honoring people at a graduation for, not as much their birthday, but really like an accomplishment thing, your first real job, all of those sorts of things. That's what they discuss. And I really enjoyed looking at or listening to it because I think it's important. Sorry, getting a call that I will have to circle back to. If you're watching the live stream, Mom, I'll call you back in a second. And so it was just a really great podcast. I like the Catholic Stuff You Should Know guys. They're really witty and fun to listen to. And they're very orthodox, but also not like your rad trad angry people either. They're very good at what I think Vatican II is trying to do. They seem to be the epitome of that to me in a lot of ways. Not relativistic, not, in this sort of, what's the word, indifferentism or anything like that. They don't push anything like that. They push Orthodox Catholic teaching, but they do it in a loving and approachable way. And they do teach even really hard to understand things. They don't sugarcoat the faith either. It's legit teaching, but in an approachable manner. And I think that that's what's awesome. And so a couple articles that I came across, Texas lifting its mask mandate. That's huge. I think hopefully more and more states will continue to follow, including Indiana, Governor Holcomb. Any day now, feel free. And Mayor Joe Hogsett, any day now, feel free to get up off your ass and do something about this and actually let us live our lives, please. I guess I shouldn't say please. Yeah. Anyways, moving on before I get myself in trouble. And so I like the causing people that it caused people to have that come and take it meme. And it's like, they're not saying you can't wear masks, people. They're saying you don't have to. So, personally, I'm hoping they come and take it. Take all my damn masks. Take them. I don't want them. So you can have them. If you have that meme somewhere saying come and take it with your mask, you can have my mask as well, because I don't want that damn thing anymore. I cannot stand it. It's a load of crap. So, and I haven't spoken about the mask very much, but at least not in a while. But seriously, I'm done with it. It's been a year. People who are vulnerable are getting vaccinated or are able to stay away. I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm not wearing the damn mask anymore. And Berlin also made the news by regretting their rent control policies, which shouldn't be a shock, because every time they're done, it just screws up the housing market. Every single place it happens. So why do we keep trying it? I don't know. But hopefully with another perfectly obvious lesson in the books, we will actually change that in the future and not go to rent control policies to fix rent prices, and look at real solutions like building more housing. And then a lot of social chatter. So adopting children. And I think it's a real serious conversation that we have to have. And I come down on the side of, against so-called same-sex marriage. I just don't think it's marriage. Just by definition, same-sex couples are excluded from marriage, because marriage is the lifelong union between a man and a woman for the purpose of unity and procreation. And so, because homosexual couples cannot procreate and they cannot, by definition, be a man and a woman, then it's not marriage. You can have other discussions about some of the other household things that you can do, but as far as marriage goes, ain't going to happen. And then another great conversation on, so you can check out my tweet in the blog post. If you go to my website, conversationfourgeneration.com, you can see the links to all of these things. I have it all there. So definitely head over there and check that out. Then the next thing is niceness is not a virtue. Simple tweet from the Vital Masculinity podcast, but really a great conversation starter about what niceness is, why it's not actually a virtue, why kindness and patience and those sorts of things that get kind of lumped in or associated with niceness are actual virtues, but why you shouldn't be nice. It's just being weak and unassertive. And so it was just a good thread, definitely interesting. So some good stuff happened there. Definitely check that out. And I had a couple great conversations reviewing the last of the Lord of the Rings books today. And last week I did book number 2. So definitely the whole trilogy now is done. So check that out. And you can check out also my conversation with Bill Martin about restoring old homes. I thought it was a fantastic discussion that really enlightened me on all the problems and all the issues that go into this. And so it was great to see his ideas and how he approaches that. I think Bill is doing a great stuff. So definitely check him out as well on any social media platform. It's just at WJM Architect. And if you're interested in getting this sort of rundown into your email inbox every week, go to conversationfourgeneration.com/newsletter in order to get subscribed to the newsletter. You'll get this every Friday, the rundown. You can check out the blog as well. It does get posted there, or it's on social. I thread it as well. So everywhere I try to post these out there so we can see good ideas. But if you have ideas, definitely leave them in the comments below. If there's stuff that you're seeing that I'm missing, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you're interested, like I said, just go to conversationfourgeneration.com/newsletter. And I now have a course available on the Golden Mean. We're working through that. So go to conversationfourgeneration.com/courses, and you can check out the Golden Mean course there and get started with that. So it's just $5 a month to get subscribed. So conversationofourgeneration.com/subscribe to do that. Lots of links here that I'm calling out. But if you go to conversationofourgeneration.com/subscribe, you can get subscribed there for $5 a month. You get my book signed, sent to you. You get my course. You get the podcast archive. You get access to the Discord community, and anything else too that comes out premium content wise, you'll be the first one to get it. So definitely subscribe there as well. And hopefully you have a great weekend. I know it's getting a little warmer here in Indianapolis. It's starting to kind of feel like spring, knock on wood. So definitely looking forward to that, and have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning into this rundown of the top discussions here at the Conversation of Our Generation. Let's get the dialogue going. I'll talk to you next time.